Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and I often find myself asking myself why we love fail videos so much. Is it because we are all secretly deep down cynical animals that just love to delight in the suffering of others? Or, and this is my actual hypothesis, is it because there is something hilarious, inherently so, about someone's self-perception of themselves getting ripped away from them by the cold, brutal reality of the world? And honestly, that's what I think it is, and that's why many of people have gotten such enjoyment of watching Cenk's nephew see where he ranks in terms of a media bias chart, because he's absolutely livid over it, even though this should be obvious. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
Now, for those of you who are unaware, Cenk's nephew is in fact Cenk Uygur of the Young Turk's nephew, and there should be no additional clarification needed, but maybe it would help you guys to understand that he actually does his own Twitch stream where he presents himself as this amazing fight against the machine type of person. So when he hears on his own channel from his audience that he is ranked below Joe Rogan in terms of trustworthiness, somebody that he goes after routinely, that is obviously going to pique his interest. That is obviously going to bother him. But when he pulls up this chart, he is aghast. And honestly, it's hilarious.
Apparently Joe Rogan is more reliable than you. What is this? Hold on. The new media bias thing came out. Is this for real? Wait, what? There's no way, dude. There is no way.
Now, to quote the great Anna Kasparian, my literal bestie, it's real.
It's real, guys. It's real.
Contains misleading info.
So first of all, I think it is important for everybody out there in the audience to understand that contains misleading info actually is soft-pedaling it when you don't realize the context in which that was framed. I actually have the chart from August 2024 from this organization that is ranking media bias, and the categories are as follows. Thorough fact reporting or fact-dense analysis, that would be at the top. Mix of fact reporting and analysis or simple fact reporting, and then it says analysis or wide variation of reliability, opinion or wide variation of reliability, and then there is selective, incomplete, unfair persuasion, propaganda, or other issues, and then below that is Cenk's nephew, which contains misleading info. Now, originally when I first saw this, I didn't zoom in on the chart. I didn't realize the categories, so I made a joke about how Cenk's nephew went on national television on Piers Morgan's show, said that he himself is in fact a propagandist.
No, I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then, I'm
saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you even play it.
And then all of a sudden, he is surprised when he discovers he's ranked as a propagandist. But honestly, fact check me on that. That is absolutely false. He is ranked below a propagandist. They're saying that he is worse than a propagandist, which is the category that he aspires to be in. That is pretty damn impressive.
Bro, I'm lower ranked than Fox News, bro. I'm lower ranked than Joe Rogan. What is this? The first time I'm actually mentioned on the media bias chart, they put me below selective, incomplete, unfair persuasion, propaganda, or other issues, okay? And on the right, I'm under Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan, Red Scare Podcast, Ben Shapiro, The Ingram Angle, Project Veritas. Project Veritas.
You know that has got to sting. You know that has got to bother Cenk's nephew, because Cenk's nephew goes out of his way to criticize the reporting or the analysis or the conversations that all of these people he just named has, and for him to be ranked below them, that's gotta hurt. For him to not even make the propagandist category has got to really be annoying. And the funny thing about this is that Joe Rogan is not even trying to be a fact-based media reporter or anything like that. He just has a really popular podcast, has guests on that podcast, listens to what they say, pushes back actually a lot more than some other people who consider themselves to be legitimate media pundits. And Joe Rogan, not even trying, is above Cenk's nephew. Joe Rogan, who Cenk's nephew has made it his business to cry about consistently on his live streams, is above him, and that really annoys him. Project Veritas, also hilarious. I mean, come on. Does not get any worse than this.
I am the equivalent of InfoWars.
Well, actually, it could get worse than this because Cenk's nephew is in and around the same level as Alex Jones's Infowars.com. Cenk's nephew, Mr. I'm better at challenging the establishment than anyone. I'm giving you the real info from the left wing. I'm pushing my agenda, is ranked in and around the same level as Infowars. Now, to be clear, I'm not 100% sure based on this chart alone if Cenk's nephew ranks slightly above Infowars or slightly below Infowars, and that's because the difference in the logos that they use. You just have Infowars as the text right there, which is just across even on a plane, but then you have Cenk's nephew's logo, which has his head, which is unambiguously above where Infowars is, but his name, the name of his channel, is below Infowars. So depending on how you look at this, depending on how you interpret this chart, it looks like he could be either above or below Infowars, but to be 100% clear, I'm guessing because this is put out by an organization that might have their own bents, that he would be ranked slightly above. I am open to correction in the future, believe me, but for him to be arguably Infowars level has to burn up his ego. Now, there are people ranked below Cenk's nephew. There are people on both the left and the right that are beneath him according to this information, and you can actually see on the right, the lowest ranked person is Louder with Crowder, which is pretty bad, and honestly, I wasn't even expecting him to be there, even though Crowder does an opinion show, but Steven would argue that he's trying to do a comedy show, so he's not trying to be ranked as the most factual based or anything like that, but again, that is open to you guys for interpretation. Hey guys, Editing Sean here, and if you look at this chart close enough, you'll realize that Steven Crowder is not the lowest, he's actually the second lowest on this chart. Before It's News is right beneath him, so my apologies for that. Take everything I said about him being the lowest and apply it to second lowest. Take this whole chart with a grain of salt if you would like, but the point is, Cenk's nephew don't like it, and in response to the fact that he is ranked this low on this chart, he decides to live up to his status and throw out an unverified conspiracy theory on why he's ranked so low.
Like, this has got to be a fucking DGG guy who wrote this list, I assume.
You know, I actually thought for a second, maybe, just maybe, this clip was AI generated. Maybe, just maybe, Cenk's nephew could not be that dumb. When it is pointed out that he is in and around the rank of Infowars, he decides to respond to that, which again, remember, he is below a propagandist on this ranking by saying an unverified conspiracy on who might have put him there. His response to being called out for spreading bad information and unverified information and misleading information was to make up a conspiracy theory on the spot. That is what Cenk's nephew did.
Dog, I'm lower than Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, and all of the, like, National Review, Newsmax, OAN. I'm lower than OAN. Bro, they're so crazy. Breitbart is here? New York Post and Breitbart are here? Okay, throw this fucking... Come on, dog. Throw this list in the fucking trash. What the fuck? This is the word. This list is a trash list.
I mean, honestly, you just gotta love this. He is talking about all the different things that he's ranked lower than, and he's devastated by this. He's like, the first time they include me in one of these bias charts, and they didn't say that I was the greatest commentator in terms of politics ever. And again, I will just point out, Cenk's nephew's lowlights are legendary. This is a guy who flat out denied that Russia would invade the Ukraine. He even said it would be his Tim Pool 49 state landslide moment if that were to occur. Then it happened.
And we got a lot to talk about. I was right about Ukraine. That's right. War is not imminent. Oh, shocked.
I think maybe I'll tell my editors to do this, but I think I'll just change, like, I'll change this every day to Ukraine has still not been invaded by Russia. Every day. Change it to Russia still has yet to invade Ukraine. And it's like day 11 at this point. The reason why I'm saying a lot of the information that's coming out of the State Department is wrong or outright false is because what I'm showing you right now is literally people talking about like bombing Kiev. That is insane. That's psychotic.
This is a guy who raged out about a particular hospital bombing that occurred in the Gazan territory that actually was caused by an Islamic Jihad rocket malfunctioning. And he not only banned the person who said that this was actually not Israel who did this particular bombing.
IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Change title. IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it fucking did. You fucking piece of shit. Yes, it absolutely did. Fuck you. Fuck you. You genocidal scumbag. You have no dignity. You do not have an ounce of dignity inside of your soul.
But then he started talking about how he knew what a JDAM was just based on hearing it, even though this guy has no military experience at all whatsoever.
They do not. They do have rockets, and sometimes there are failed launches, but a failed launch on a fucking rocket is not going to be able to destroy an entire hospital. They do not have the firepower capabilities of destroying an entire fucking hospital. So even from an immediate assessment, that is unimaginable. Okay, I'm going to put this side by side. I want you to fucking understand something, okay? So that is a JDAM called on. Do you think that that seems similar to one another? Also, not a ballistics trajectory expert, but that JDAM came from super high up. But if you look at the actual confirmed video of the bombing, you know that neither of these parties have the capability of dropping a bomb like this on themselves, even by accident or deliberately. They do not have this capability. You have no evidence. Stop concluding. What is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at with my own two eyes? What are you looking at? I have no evidence. Don't believe your fuck. What do you mean? Does that strike you as a fucking misfire?
And when called out on that, rather than acknowledging that he got this one wrong and then trying to move on, he said, oh, well, here's a list of all the bad things that Israel has done, so we shouldn't even talk about who was right or wrong about this particular thing that I was dead wrong about. But that is not even the worst of it. This is a man who interviewed a Houthi pirate, a member of a terrorist organization, who, by the way, was boarding ships that have nothing to do with the conflict, that were third-party country ships, causing all these problems, not only just in that region, but worldwide, because it ended up disrupting canal traffic right there, and I think 10% of the goods actually move through that particular canal, and Cenk's nephew decided to interview him and call him, no joke, an anime protagonist, Luffy from One Piece.
Okay, this is a stupid question. Okay, you can preface it with that. Does he know what One Piece is?
One Piece, like, is that an organization?
No, One Piece is an anime.
Oh, okay. أول شيء بقول لك إنه ممكن هذا السؤال يكون شوي أهبل، بس بسألك تعرف شو هو One Piece؟ عمرك سمعت ب One Piece؟
أكيد يعني منذ الطفولة وأنا أشاهد ون بيس لوفي.
Is it Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes, that's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god, dude. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
بقول لك حسن إنه
Now look, it's one thing to do all that stuff. It's one thing to make your stream about all this different lefty propaganda, be anti-Western in every regard, call yourself a propagandist and all that. But it's another thing to do all of that, engage in all those actions, say that you're a propagandist for your side, say that it's okay to lie in order to boost your side, and then turn around and be upset when you're ranked incredibly low behind people who at least are trying to state facts before they give their opinion. That seems to be absolute madness, and that's what makes this so funny. Alex Jones, crazy person. But if you gave him this chart, you showed him where his website was ranked, he might say, I should be ranked higher, and, establishment is coming after him, or whatever he says, but he wouldn't be surprised that he was ranked there. He wouldn't be shocked that he was ranked there. He would understand that, of course, he would be ranked there. That is just reality. He'd start talking about how we have all the documents and all that. But again, the shock on his face, the disgust on his face is hilarious. And yes, by the way, this is 100% accurate. In fact, the only thing that might be inaccurate in this particular chart is that Cenk's nephew isn't on the furthest left-right axis in terms of this particular representation. So that's like the only thing right here that I might even dispute. But yeah, you're below a propagandist. You aspire to be a propagandist and you don't even reach that. That's amazing. That is wonderful. And that is so glorious. So Cenk's nephew, from me to you, thank you so much for making me laugh this much in this particular scenario. But hey, you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like this video, show me by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Cenk's nephew crying about being ranked below a propagandist. Till next time.